And thanks for joining us on TVC News this hour. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has filed a lawsuit against the Central Bank of Nigeria over the failure to delete the patently unlawful provisions in the Central Bank of Nigeria regulations directing banks to obtain information on customers' social media handles for the purpose of identification. The CBN had last month issued a circular mandating banks and other financial institutions to implement and comply with the mandatory provisions on customers' social media handles in the CBN regulation. The suit was filed on behalf of SERAP by its lawyers, Kolawole Oluwadare and Blessing Ugoche at the Federal High Court, Lagos. SERAP is seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel the Central Bank of Nigeria to withdraw its directive dated 20th of June 2023. No date has been fixed for the hearing of the suit. Let's talk about environmental matters. The Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency has placed its emergency response team on high alert over an anticipated heavy to moderate rainfall today. The Director General of the agency, Abbas Idris, made this known in a statement signed by the agency's Head of Public Affairs, Nkechi Isa, in Abuja on Friday. Dr. Idris said that a weather forecast by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency had indicated that the FCT and its neighboring state would experience heavy to moderate rainfall on Sunday. He added that the forecast also predicted moderate to heavy rainfalls in parts of Katsina, Kano, Bauchi, Plateau, and Taraba. He said that NIMET also warned that possible flash floods, riverine flooding, strong winds, and soil erosion, as well as thunder and lightning, due to the anticipated heavy downpour. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, wants youths in the country to contribute their best to nation building. She encouraged the youths to emulate and imbibe strong virtues as exhibited by biblical characters. She said these are this year's National Convention of the Christian Association of Nigerian Youth Wing. Senator Oluremi's message to young Nigerians was delivered by wife of the Chief of Staff to the President, Salamatu Wajabiamila.
I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. I am delighted to be in your midst today at this convention with the theme, The Role of Christian Youth in Actualizing God's Kingdom. There is no doubt that you have a huge role to play, both in the body of Christ and in the nation as a whole. There are examples in the scriptures of young men and women like Joseph, Gideon, David, Deborah, Esther, Jeremiah, Timothy, and Elisha, who were all used greatly for God's kingdom and their nation. These children of God are examples to us, as written in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 11, of how we should be role models to others as they exemplified and demonstrated their love for God, humility, courage, boldness, integrity, faith, obedience, and a life of service and dedication, which are qualities that are necessary to actualize God's kingdom.
We need to talk about a youth. A youth, I know, a youth, you know, that actually at, number one, God's kingdom established in his own heart, and he referred to God as my king. The kingdom is the rule and the reign of the king, of the leader, of a ruler in any empire.
And the former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, is preaching tolerance among Nigerians of different faiths. Speaking with journalists on the sidelines of a reception held in his honor in Kwara State, Mr. Mohammed said Muslims and Christians should cohabit without any hindrance. The reception was organized to welcome Mr. Mohammed, having served for almost 8 years in the cabinet of former President Muhammad Buhari. The former minister, during his address, said religious extremism is a major challenge around the globe, which should not be encouraged.
Humanity is facing today is extremism. And extremism could come in form of political view or religious view. And in most cases, one overlaps the other. For those of us those of you, all of us, right, familiar with the Boko Haram insurgency, is basically intolerance on and extremism on the part of some zealots who believe that other adherents of other religions are inferior. And this is why I think I find unique about my community.
Let's talk about security matters. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Taoreed Lagbaja, paid an operational visit to the troubled Mangu local government area of Plateau State to see for himself the situation in the council area. The Army Chief launched Operation Hakorin Damisa 4 in the area to restore total peace to the various communities facing attacks and killings in recent times. Funam Joshua reports.
The entourage of the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Taoreed Lagbaja, arrives in Mangu local government area. The Army Chief is in Mangu Council, following attacks and killings that continued unabated despite several efforts to tackle the challenge in recent times. His first port of call was the Forward Base Operation Headquarters in Mangu, where he was briefed on the situation in the area. He then launched Operation Hakorin Damisa Special Forces 4. Major General Taoreed Lagbaja applauded the troops for restoring normalcy in some of the crisis communities in just a few days of their deployment to the crisis areas. He urges them to sustain the effort professionally and also maintain rules of engagement.
You are the people's army. When they send a distress call to you, you must respond. And you must respond as quickly as possible. Is that clear? Yes, sir!
The course then proceeded to the Pilot Primary School Temporary IDP camp, where he held a town hall meeting with leaders of the Magavul Development Association and that of the Fulani community. Representatives of both groups were given time to talk about their challenges and the way forward. The Magavul Development Association is not happy that some cattle arrested while illegally grazing on farmlands were released to their owners without proper compensation.
The means have become a grazing land. Grazing land. I wish the TPO was here. But I know the commander went up the work and brought over 500 cows. They were in ASTC. I'm told that I set them free.
We sought to hear from the leadership of the Fulani communities on the authenticity of the claim by the MDA president on the arrested cattle and their release.
The cows were released, definitely, but somebody has been held back as a collateral, so that as negotiation is going on for compensation, that man is still under police custody.
The Chief of Army Staff, while responding to issues raised, assured that the troops deployed are going to do their mandate professionally without bias or taking sides. He asserted that total normalcy will be restored to all troubled communities in Mangu and environs, but warned perpetrators from both sides to submit all arms illegally used by youths in the area, as anybody caught with them will be shot and killed by the troops.
Brothers can come back to the table and say, let us forget the past. We have youths carrying illicit small arms and light weapons all over the place, here in Mangu and the entire Plateau State. And I want to warn this afternoon that if you have the words, you have your children carrying weapons, please call them to order as quickly as possible.
The event ended with a commitment to promote peaceful coexistence among the two warring communities by their leaders.
The convoy of the Nigeria Chief of Army Staff has just left the venue of this peace stakeholders meeting. The locals are now wondering what will be the next event after this development. Funam Joshua, TVC News, Mangu.
The people of Kula in Akuku-Toru local government area of Rivers State say they are committed to working with the president of the National Youth Council of Nigeria to rid their area of oil thieves and illegal bunkering activities. They fully support Sukubo Sara-Igbe's Oil Theft Zero Tolerance Sensitisation program to the area that recently destroyed 4 wooden boats used to steal crude oil around Wellheads 1 and 2 in OML 25 in Kula. There is more in this report.
The campaign against crude oil theft is yielding some fruits already, as collaboration between the Kula Kingdom and the Crude Oil Theft Zero Tolerance Program has facilitated the arrest of oil thieves in the area. These wooden boats used to transport stolen crude was also seized around Wellheads 1 and 2 of OML 25 in Kula.
We carry out that sensitization campaign to encourage our young youths to desist from such acts. Illegal bunker activities is creating an abject poverty in the lives of the people, killing our aquatic lives.
With the help of the Amama soldiers, like Asari soldiers, and the national president of Nigeria, and I'm using this medium to advise our youth that they should resist from the illegal bunker in our territory.
I am appealing to President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The company is working around the territory. We have New Cross, we have Belimoye, we have other one share. They should also create an impact where our youths, our women, will have business to do, employment, scholarships, and development, so that all this bunker activity by vandalizing pipe and all those things will be stopped.
President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria has been spearheading this campaign to galvanize community efforts against oil thefts. He says the latest suspects arrested have been handed over to security agencies for prosecution.
I will continue to support my country. I'll continue to support our own son Belimoye and other companies operating in the Kula territory. I thank the Almighty God who has given our community some land, and at the same time the Mama soldiers, Alhaji Mujahid Asari Tokubo, to be apprehending these baggers who are tapping into the federal government assets.
As the perpetrators are charged to court, their tools were not spared. They set fire on their boats and hope to completely take them out of business.
You're watching TVC News. The APC has announced that it has no plans to influence the judiciary in the ongoing presidential election petition. The party made this known in a statement signed by the publicity secretary to the party, Felix Moka, in reaction to a statement by a media aide to PDP's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. According to him, he said that President Tinubu and the APC have full faith and confidence on the courts to dispense electoral justice in accordance with the Constitution and all applicable laws. In out of party politics, the ruling All Progressives Congress says the party remains united and committed to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration towards uplifting the quality of life of all Nigerians. This follows some reports suggesting disharmony among members. There is more in this report.
Rivers State is Nigeria's fourth most populous state with 3.77% of the 93 million total registered voters of the February election, after Lagos at 7.57%, Kano at 6.34% and Kaduna at 4.65%. This makes it one of the determining states in Nigerian elections. With the increase in voters' registration by 9% from 2019, Rivers played a major role in securing a win for the APC in the presidential election.
Wike was the reason why Tinubu won the university. So if the national party, led by Tinubu, feels that they should reward Wike for his hard work and support, I don't think there is anybody that can stop that.
Some APC stalwarts in the state have lauded Nyesom Wike for his support even as the APC struggled in the state. It is why candidate of the All Progressives Congress for Eleme Oyigbo Tai Federal Constituency in Rivers State, Chisom Dike, withdrew his petition at the tribunal. Mr. Dike disclosed that his withdrawal is in the spirit of service as the constituency needs good governance delivery.
The decision I took today is an instance of Nyesom Wike. And let me also use this opportunity to debunk the rumor going on in the social media that I defected to PDP.
I have not defected to PDP. If I'm going to defect, I will call my supporters and tell them if we agree, we will move. But for now, we are in APC. What I did was that I have reconciled with my former boss, Nyesom Wike.
As many continue to drum support for former Governor Nyesom Wike, what is more surprising is the support he gets from the APC in Rivers State. Habida Lawal, TVC News.
The ruling All Progressives Congress says the party remains united and committed to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration towards uplifting the quality of life of all Nigerians. Now, this follows some reports suggesting disharmony among members. There is more in this report.
The ruling All Progressives Congress says the party is not in crisis at the national level. That, according to the National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, who believes that the resignation of the national chairman and the secretary does not suggest any crisis in the party. His reaction is coming after reports emerged in sections of the media suggesting disharmony among members of the National Working Committee and other critical sections of the party's leadership.
These gentlemen made decisions that put the party first before their own personal egos and their own personal ambitions. Now, you can't say that for some other political party. We just experienced a transition in the party without a whole lot of rancor. I think that's, says a lot of volume.
On the removal of fuel subsidy and increase in petrol pump price, the National Publicity Secretary maintained that the federal government is doing all to cushion the effect on Nigerians.
Look, I just urge that we all maintain some reasonableness because question is whether the fuel subsidy removal justifies, 100%, 200%, high. But I'm sure that, the government is on top of this, and especially as they're working to put the cabinet together.
In the last few weeks, there have been speculations of individuals who will make the ministerial list, and how soon it will be out. Mr. Morka is of the view that President Tinubu would do the needful at the appropriate time.
I do know that they are hard at work in, putting this list together, in vetting the lists to make sure that, credible, strong, competent people are appointed to serve in these capacities. This is very important task that our laws, our constitution gives the president the prerogative to do. So he's doing that.
With just few days to the expiration for the submission of ministerial lists to the National Assembly for screening, Nigerians are eagerly expecting a list of credible personalities who will fulfill the renewed hope agenda of better standard of living and adequate security for all. Emmanuel Ajayi, TVC News, Lagos.
An election to determine the new leadership of the socio-cultural body, the Joy Youth Council, took a new twist as Congress overturned the earlier process, saying that it was flawed. This time around, Jonathan Lopobri emerged as president, defeating 3 others in a keenly contested election with the presence of heavy security. Joseph Kunde has the details.
With armed security on the ground, the rescheduled IYC elections is held at the Gabriel Okara Cultural Center in Yanagwa, with some notable aspirants and their agents present to witness the process. 110 accredited delegates partake in the election conducted by the new electoral committee overseen by the acting president, Saviour Olali. After sorting out the entire vote cast, Jonathan Lopobri is declared the new president of the IYC, having pulled a total of 47 votes to defeat his closest rivals, Benjamin Appa, with 15 votes, and Ibilade Ekerefe with 14 votes.
To the founding fathers and leaders of our struggle, thank you for your painstaking efforts to ensure that this successfully comes to an end. My fellow contestants who ran this race with me, you made it so eventful. Thank you. Let me assure you that nobody is a loser in this process. We are all winners because the John Nation will win.
The election is hailed for its transparency as the new executives are tasked with uniting the entire Ijaw youths across all divides.
They must champion the cause for which the IYC was formed and which is entrenched in the Kayama Declaration. Address the problem of persistent crisis during transition.
We need the IYC to complement the efforts of the INC to ensure that the Ijaw people and the Niger Delta people get a proper place in Nigeria.
The new executives take the oath of office as they express confidence and commitment to fulfill the mandate of the body as enshrined in the Kayama Declaration.
We cannot continue to lay the golden egg and have nothing to show for it. It is my honest conviction that we shall challenge the status quo to ensure that our people have a space to participate in this oil and gas business that is happening in our region. Today they are piping gas from our region to as far as Morocco, and there's no Ijaw man participating. If we are united, I can tell you this country will listen to us.
Joseph Kunde, TVC News, Yanagwa.